Brad Keselowski with us in the booth. Darrell Wallace Jr., call up Bubba. He is your leader, followed by Timothy Peters.
I'm Lindsay Theory. Here's what we're working on for Fox Sports Live. 8 NFL preseason games going on today. We'll show you who shined and who needs to hit the practice field more. And can NL Cy Young candidate Clayton Kershaw pick up his 15th win on the season as he faces the Brewers? That's tonight after UFC Fight Night.
Today, MLB on Fox Sports 1 returns with a doubleheader as Derek Jeter and the Yankees take on the Rays. Then the Padres square off against Matt Holliday and the Cardinals. Coverage begins at 3:30 Eastern right here on Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go.
You don't think Kenny Wallace will be tuned in at 7 tonight to watch those Cardinals play with Matt Holliday on the mound, do you?
Yeah, not at all. Not at all. He loves the Cardinals about as much as we love the Tigers, doesn't he?
Yes.
Phil went the other day.
Good, good.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of my team's going to go tonight. That's the great thing about being in the Michigan area. So much to see and so much to do.
How proud were you to, being from this area, to put your cars on the front? I mean, your truck's on the front row. I know so far the race hasn't played out like you hoped, but that would be a great feeling, especially with all the guests you have here today.
That was definitely huge, and like I said, we want to keep it going. A lot of racing left, though. We got about 38 laps left. Kyle Busch is really fast. He's about 2 to 3 tenths faster than anyone out there right now. So if he can get back in the game, he'll be the guy to beat. But you never know what's going to happen in these truck races. You've seen it, Michael. We've all seen it.
That's right. It's crazy at the end.
Yeah, no
doubt.
doubt. One caution right now changes the whole shebang.
On board with Ron Hornaday, he rides fourth. We listened in to he and his team.
You fixed my tightness. It's pretty tight.
Hit 4. Get your left rear blower up if you're tight. I mean on, sorry.
Sit on, just you made the adjustment.
Ron Hornaday obviously talking about a tight truck as well. Doug George, his crew chief, telling him which blowers to turn on and off.
And that's a conversation you could pick up from any one of these trucks. No one's truck's perfect. Kyle Busch's must be pretty close as fast as he's going, but everybody is dealing with some sort of issue. Whether they're in traffic or running alone, they would like that truck to be even better yet. And Ron was explaining to Doug how tight his truck was.
Johnny Sauter in the third position. Hermie Sadler.
Steve, a pretty good pit stop for Johnny Sauter in the 98, and a decent truck right now by himself pretty much on the racetrack, but a little bit of concern as Johnny has reported since the most recent stop when they took 4 tires. He's reported a vibration, a pretty consistent vibration since the time he went back on the racetrack. So they were thinking maybe loose wheel to begin with, but Johnny hasn't said anything in the last 3 to 5 laps. So right now he's riding it out, but a little bit of concern on the 98.
Bill, that's that attitude I was talking about. Down on the left front, a little bit up on the right front. We can see that really well on Johnny's truck. And a lot of trucks in practice would seal right to the road in the corner, but those right fronts just seem to be up just a bit. And when Logano was complaining earlier about some right front problems, his truck was flat on the ground right down the straightaway. Makes you wonder if there is an issue over on that corner, Brad.
Yeah, it does. You know, you see a lot of different approaches to the setups in these trucks, and a lot of that's coming from the Sprint Cup Series, trying to work on getting the spoilers down, getting the back of the cars and trucks down to get rid of that drag down the straightaway, but still keep the skirt sealed on in the corners so you can have as much speed as possible when it counts in the corner and down the straightaway.
It's really amazing the engineering it takes to try to accomplish all those things at the same time.
What's it like driving down into one of these corners at, in your case, in a Cup car at over 210 miles an hour? How do you think you're going to make that corner? It looks flat to me.
Well, when you go into that corner that first time in practice and you see the dust and there's no rubber on the track, you're just praying that Goodyear brought a strong enough tire to take that load. And they've done a great job with this tire. It's an incredible challenge for them to make it work. But this track here is the biggest, baddest, and fastest one of them all right now in the Sprint Cup circuit. You really got to man up to run fast here.
Kyle Busch goes by Jeb Burton.
Look at the way his truck turned right there. Did you see that, Mike?
He just turned it left.
Just right underneath that lap truck.
That's a great feeling, too, to have something that will respond to that type of driving of the truck. And as he knifes his way through the field, up inside the top 10 now, this is going to have to be quite the rebound. A caution flag, though, puts him right back in the game. And obviously, what's he waving at?
I think he's just getting some fresh air in there, it looks like.
Them trucks are hot.
He just drove around that corner wide open with one hand.
Now he's number 1.
Joey Logano back to pit road.
So they're trying to work on this splitter, Phil. Basically what you saw is the top and the bottom half of the nose pieces. They're two-piece nose pieces for those fans at home, and they go together right in the center. And when it breaks, it falls down, and the splitter drags on the track, and that can be the end of your day, and it basically is for Joey right here.
Right. Steve, the tape that they had put on before actually was covering the grill, and Joey said water temperature's going up. So Robert Huffman is heading this crew, and what they did was they had two guys lift up on the bottom of the splitter, then they riveted on a couple of pieces of sheet metal, and now they're covering it up with Bear Bond. But they got to be very careful not to cover the grill. So lots of work to do there. But Joey Logano had a great day start, and then it started to go worse, and now they're going to get a poor finish at the end of the day.
Yeah, already 3 laps down, and we'll go another lap down at least here before they make the repairs, as he now is leaving his pit stall. Timothy Peters right now running in the 3rd spot.
Look at this gaggle of trucks we have here, Michael, all the way from 2nd to 7th. It's a good little battle.
And Darrell Wallace has built himself a nice little cushion, nearly 10 seconds ahead of Johnny Sauter.
See Timothy Peters, he was on the same schedule as Bubba Wallace.
Look at all that movement, though. They look like they're just riding along 2nd to 7th, just trying to make some ground on our leader. But no one's content to sit still. Ron Hornaday makes his way around Timothy Peters. That's going to open up the door for Kraft, and the draft is the reason why they're able to do all this movement. How about 3 wide in this little pack?
Corogo, the 77, going to pull down to make that pass on the inside. See if he can clear his teammate Timothy Peters. A bit of a slide job up in front of him. Matt's going to get in front of Timothy Peters as well.
71 laps complete, just 29 remaining here at the Michigan International Speedway. There's your leader, Bubba Wallace. Stay with us here on Fox Sports 1. At Michigan International, just 25 laps remaining in this 100-lap race. Darrell Wallace continues to lead. Meanwhile, Timothy Peters hits pit road. Ray Dunlap.
Last time he was on pit road was lap 38, so he'll come down for a scheduled stop here in his Valvoline Toyota. Timothy talking about the fact that his truck was just a little bit free on entry. You see, they are going to make a track bar adjustment. They're putting in fuel there. The 54 should be ready to come to pit road also. He may be out of gas. Timothy Peters gets in time. His engine's still running, and he's able to get away. Bubba Wallace, however, may not be as lucky. As he comes on to pit road, it looks like the truck may be coasting.
He's definitely out of fuel, Ray. He ran out, I think, coming down the front straightaway. I noticed him down to the bottom of the track. Maybe picked up a little fuel, then on the back it went completely out. And would be lucky if he wasn't speeding in that first section. With your engine off, you don't have a tach to look at to understand your speed. He looked pretty fast when he first came to pit road.
His truck had been a 1.5 tight, he had told Jerry Baxter earlier, so they made an air pressure adjustment. You see, they'll try to get the fuel in right there by the cow once again. The guys will get tires on his Toyota. They do the right side. It does fire one time. This is similar to what happened to Kyle Busch. Bubba last pitted on 38, the same lap that Timothy Peters had come to pit road. So one Toyota made it and one didn't. Remember, Bubba had been out front of the field quite a bit.
Remember how much trouble Kyle Busch had restarting his truck. They're still working on that 54 truck. Again, 38 laps was when they stopped the first time. That's how long they went this time. And Bubba ran out of fuel, and Timothy didn't.
And he had built himself a 10-second lead, but that all goes away.
Go, 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 go.
Now, Kyle, when he had the same problem, lost 30 seconds. Be interesting to see how much Bubba lost. He had about a 9-second lead coming in, but I think he ran out of fuel just a little bit earlier, Michael, than Kyle did, so he should lose a little bit more time, maybe even lose a lap.
So Johnny Sauter now in the 98.
And there the leaders go by him. He's going to just barely lose a lap, a second lap. So that's going to put him behind. He really doesn't need a yell to come out here.
And while we were away, Ryan Blaney, the points leader, the pole sitter, driving for Brad Keselowski, who joins us or has joined us in the booth, had to come to pit road. Brad, same exact problem that befell Joey Logano.
Yeah, something's going on where the nose pieces are breaking, whether that's from drafting, the turbulence, or maybe they're not strong enough. It's hard to say. Well, obviously they're not strong enough if they're breaking. But that's a big issue to the trucks, and they definitely have to work on them. That's really going to cost Ryan.
You come to town with the point lead and set on the pole. A lot of confidence from Ryan with his finishes as of late. Just repeating top 5 after top 5. Felt like a place where he could get a win for you and the team, and that's disappointing, obviously.
There's Johnny Sauter right there, the 98. He's going to be, as of now, the big beneficiary. He came in here trailing Ryan by 7 points. Right now, as they run, he's 11 points up as he moved to the outside of Jay White. And it's kind of ironic that, Brad, your 2 trucks basically had the exact same issue, and the 2 KBM trucks had the same issue of running out of fuel on the racetrack.
Well, that just shows that they're all built the same and run on the same strategy. But I really like the spot that Johnny's in right now. If this race stays green and he has a great pit cycle here, this is his race to win.
It's time now for our Camping World 20 to go. Johnny Sauter with the lead, followed by Ron Hornaday, Herman Quiroga. Matt Crafton rides 4th. Great run for Taylor Malsom, who is 5th.
I'll tell you who's heating up Johnny Sauter, and that is Ron Hornaday. We've watched him make some moves around the pack that he was running in. Now he can see Johnny Sauter right out his front window. So Ron could be strong here and grab that 52nd career win in the Truck Series. That's the view he has of the leader. Look at him gain on Johnny Sauter as they go toward turn 1.
And the good news for these pit crews, they're only going to take 1 can of gas. We'll get them to the end here. A lot of them pitted anywhere between lap 47 for Herman Quiroga up to lap 54 by Matt Craft, and Johnny Sauter was in on lap 53, Hornaday 52, and we know they can go about 38 to 40 laps.
It'll be really interesting to see the strategy where they take 2 tires, where they take gas only. Some might even take 4. That might make a huge difference in this race, especially if the yellow comes out after the pit cycle.
And we've seen that in the history of this race. A lot of short runs at the end, some good battles at the end, so tires could play a role.
Ron Hornaday has caught Johnny Sauter, now moves down to the inside to try to take over the lead.
With a big push from Bubba Wallace.
Run outside.
As you mentioned, right now Bubba Wallace is 2 laps down. He desperately needs to get in front of these guys so he can only be 1 lap down and be in position possibly for the wave around when the caution flag comes out, if it does.
Bubba's whole race is about getting a yellow, but he has to pass these 2 trucks first. He has to pass them, get back to 1 lap down and get a wave around if a yellow comes out, and then he's got a shot at winning it. But this is his whole race in front of him with only 17 to go here at the line. He has to pass these 2 trucks as soon as possible.
Yeah, the lap's winding down here at Michigan International.
And that's your top 5 right there, guys, too. Johnny Sauter, Hornaday, then Bubba's a lap down, but all the way back to Taylor Malsom in 5th. They're all in contact with one another in the same group, racing for the win here with 17 to go.
Bubba able to get by Ron Hornaday. Now he just has 1 more truck to get by. That's Johnny Sauter. And again, that only puts him to 1 lap down. Timothy Peters right now is running in a 13th position. He's the lead truck that we know can make the distance without another pit stop.
Herman Quiroga, another solid job, Phil, up to the 3rd spot. Herman just seems to bring it every week. He gets himself in a position to get a great finish and knocking on the door for that first win. We talked about all the speed that these trucks showed in qualifying with an all-time track record of over 187 miles an hour. This is also running as a series record for a race. They're above the 154 mile an hour average that we had at Texas back in 2012, averaging 159 miles an hour.
Here comes Quiroga to pit road. He pitted on lap number 47, so he goes 47 laps, 48 laps as he comes to pit road. Right down lap.
Herman Quiroga on his way down pit road. Lots of fuel strategy going on. I'm listening in to multiple crew chiefs talking about how much fuel they need to get to the end. Crafton's crew chief talking to him about maybe just a couple of seconds. Obviously, Quiroga was last in on lap 48, so they needed a good bit of fuel here. They make a track bar adjustment. They'll go down a ½ pound of air pressure on the left side for his Net 10 wireless Toyota and back to the racetrack.
Talking about it, Brad. 4 tires for Quiroga there. He'll be in great position if we get a caution after all the pit cycle takes place. See, Bubba Wallace at 54 has been able to get by Johnny Sauter.
How about a little side draft? Johnny, I'm going to have to borrow your air for a minute. Excuse me.
That's an angry, frustrated side draft is what that is.
That's an aggressive side draft.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's different from a normal side draft.